Hey guys, Christian here. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to do a very easy DIY on the E46 M3. But wait, this video is not only for BMW owners like most of my other videos. This DIY applies to pretty much anybody that owns a car, and that is cleaning and restoring yellow, foggy, and oxidized headlights. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to get your headlights from looking like this to this. And depending on your budget, I'm going to show you two different ways you can achieve that look. One that only costs $1, well technically $1.35, and the second method that costs around 20 bucks. Like I said, we'll be using my E46 M3, which I think is a pretty good example since this car was sitting outside in the hot Florida sun for over a year, and the headlights was one of the things that really took a hit. And before anybody says anything in the comment section below, on camera the headlights are always going to look much better than in person. I can tell you in person, they're pretty bad. I don't know if I can get close enough to show you guys the texture. That's not dirtiness, that's literally the texture of the headlight. These are heavily oxidized. Here's a close-up so you guys can really see. They're pretty damn bad, but the camera is always going to make it look much better. And this is my E93 335i. These are what headlights should look like. Nice and clean. And here's everything we're going to be using for today's DIY. We have soapy water. Shout out to Chris Fix. Got a few microfiber towels. And then we have the cheap method, which is Colgate toothpaste with baking soda and peroxide, and a toothbrush. This is the $1 fix for your oxidized headlights, and if you have this toothpaste already with a spare toothbrush, then this is pretty much a free fix. And the $20 fix is this Headlight Restoration Kit from Mcguire's. This is the heavy duty variant. As you can see, they offer the light, moderate, and severe. This is the severe one, which is probably an overkill for my car, but I figured that most people that click on this video probably have really bad condition headlights, so I went ahead and bought this one so I can show you the DIY on how to use this kit. It is worth mentioning that if you do get the severe headlight restoration from Maguire, you will need a power drill, which you may or may not have. If you don't, I'll leave a link to one in the description below. That's pretty cheap from Amazon. A good thing about buying one of these is that they're multi-purpose, so you can use them for other things around the house or in the garage. And if you guys end up liking the results that this product does for the headlights, I will leave a link to this in the description box below as well. Buying from my link does help support the channel at no additional cost to you, aka help support your boy. All right, let's go ahead and begin. Take one last look at these headlights because they're never going to look this bad ever again. So the first thing to do is prep the headlights. I'll go ahead and open the hood so I can create more space to restore the headlights. We'll use painter's tape to tape around the headlights to make sure we don't mess up any of the paint work. Oh, look at that. As soon as I open the hood, there's a rubber trim that's missing here that goes on top of the headlight. But anyways, you can see how clean and clear the headlights are right there. This is a part that's normally not exposed to the elements. And here we go. That's the front of it. That's the top. So for you guys that are quick to say that the headlights were in good condition before I even started restoring them, nope, you can actually see it right here. It's pretty bad. This one still has its trim piece, but it's in very, very bad shape. It's flaking off, so I'm definitely gonna have to get that. That's what happens when a car sits outside for so long, neglected, not washed, not taken care of. Technically speaking, if I wanted better results, I would remove the headlights. The ones on the M3 are very easy to disassemble. I know not everybody has the luxury. Either they're not really into doing the extra work, or maybe it's a pain to remove the headlights. Like for example, my E93, to take out the headlights, bumper has to come off. There's like 7 different bolts, hard to reach brackets. So what I'm going to end up doing is keeping the headlights on the car so everybody else can relate. It's a pretty tight squeeze right here. If I do have any issues with that, I'll just go ahead and remove the trim from back there. I believe it comes off pretty easy. Yeah, it comes off pretty easy. Well, that sucks. I was removing this rubber trim from the top of the headlight, and look what happened. Just cracked the corner light. But you know what? I'm not too mad because it needed to be replaced. Look at this big crack that's right here. So the first thing people normally do is they'll wash the headlights, or they'll clean it first, and then they'll add the painter's tape around the edges of the headlight. I like to do it kind of backwards, tape first, because the times that I've tried to wash the headlights then tape, water kind of creeps into the cracks here, and then it's much harder for the tape to stick. It starts falling apart, and once you're doing the restoration, it becomes annoying. So I'll go ahead and do the masking first, and I'll clean the headlights. Do not judge me on my masking abilities because it's pretty and I'm sure your taping abilities is also pretty. The goal essentially is to protect everything that's surrounding the headlights, because what we're going to be using to restore it requires abrasive materials in order to remove the oxidation, so you don't want to ruin the paint job especially. And I will only be doing the headlight. I mean, the corner light is kind of broken. The other side doesn't look too bad anyways. Oh my God, tell me that's not the best tape masking job you've ever seen. Yeah, A1 baby, A1. All jokes aside, if it serves its purpose, who cares what it looks like? Now to decide which headlight gets which restoring method. I think this one is slightly more oxidated. Actually, they look about the same. We'll just use the $20 method for the passenger side, and we'll use the $1 method for the driver side. And we'll do the driver side first, the $1 toothpaste method. The reason toothpaste works is because it's pretty gritty, especially if you get the one that has baking soda and peroxide. It makes this pretty abrasive. And essentially that's what helps remove the oxidation from the outermost layer of the headlight, is rubbing something that's pretty much abrasive. So if you do end up using toothpaste, make sure to get the paste and not the gel. The paste is the one that's gritty and abrasive enough to clear up the headlights. So yeah, if you rub the toothpaste between your fingers, you'll be able to feel the small particles in there, and that's what's gonna help with clearing this all up right here. We'll do one section at a time. All right, we'll try this section here first. And you can rub the toothpaste onto the headlights two different ways, either a toothbrush or a microfiber towel. You can probably add more pressure with the microfiber towel, but we'll go ahead and try it with the toothbrush. So pretty much we're just gonna treat this headlight like one big tooth, one big dirty tooth. Circular motions. I feel like when you do one section at a time, it's much easier to stay organized. You can definitely feel all the oxidation on the headlight starting to loosen up with the toothpaste. And right here, you see how it's a little bit louder here? That's where most of the oxidation is at. See right here, it's not that loud. Right there, it's loud. So I need to focus more on this section right here. This is where it's mostly oxidized, yellow and foggy. The positive to this method, it costs only $1. But the con to this method is that if your headlights are in really, really bad shape, you're probably gonna sit here forever to even get them like semi close to looking good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it off and see what results we got so far. Actually came out pretty good, look at it. Here's the other side that's untouched, and here's this side. It's much clearer, still has a little bit of texture, a little bit of yellowness, but I mean, I didn't really spend that much time on it. I wanted to see if I was actually getting results, to see if it was even worth continuing. I've never used toothpaste in the past to restore headlights, so this is the first time for me. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and apply toothpaste on the rest of the headlight. Actually, I'll do this side as well. All right, so this time we're gonna do things a little bit different. I'm gonna go ahead and put toothpaste on the microfiber towel, and I'm gonna use this and a little bit of elbow grease to really try to put pressure on the headlight while I'm buffing it, and we'll see what the results look like. The minty smell is overwhelming, not even gonna lie. My senses are overwhelmed. All right, let's see what the headlight's gonna look like now. Check it out, guys. That was only one pass of using toothpaste on it, and it didn't come out too bad, to be honest. The yellow's gone. It's a little bit oxidized still, but it's not half bad, to be honest. Take a look at this side, which this is what the other side looked like before I used the toothpaste. You see all this yellowness. This side doesn't really have yellowness anymore, and it looks a little bit clearer. Can't complain for $1, it's not bad. Plus, I'm sure I can hit like a second or third pass and it's gonna look even better. And then on top of that, I'm gonna go ahead and lay a protective layer of wax to pretty much finish it off. Actually, let me go ahead and do a second pass. We'll add the wax, and then I'll talk about my impressions. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and use some of this cheap butter smooth wax from Almirall. All right, so let's take a look at it. Looks good, at least it doesn't look yellow. This looks at least 5 times better than this, maybe even 10x better. Still have a little bit of oxidation, but that's because the toothpaste abrasiveness is not strong enough, but look at it. It's not bad at all. I would say that the right thing to do after using toothpaste is using some kind of a compound to smooth it out, and then the wax, but I'm trying to keep this method as cheap as possible hence the title, $1 method. How long is it gonna stay this clean? I don't know. How durable is this method? I'm not entirely sure, but I did lay some wax on it, which should prolong it a little bit. This is pretty much for those on a very, very tight budget and they have some kind of a time sensitive situation. Maybe they have a date and they have to impress them. They can't be showing up to pick them up with yellow headlights and they don't need it to last clean for over a week. So this method works, I guess. I mean, it looks pretty good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. All right, time to use the method that costs 20 times more than the method that we used on the driver's side, the Maguire Headlight Restoration Kit for severe headlights. 20 times the cost, but is it gonna be 20 times as effective? Only one way to find out. Real quick guys, if you're enjoying the video or finding it helpful, I appreciate it if you guys take a second to like this video. It doesn't cost you anything, it really does help out the channel a lot. Anyways, let's go ahead and restore the passenger headlight. All right, let's go ahead and see what's in the Mcguire kit. We got a handle, which I believe you placed the little sandpaper pads on there. Applicator sponge, Plasti-X clear plastic cleaner and polish. So in other words, it's a polish for the headlights. Headlight coating, since we're pretty much gonna be removing the outer layer of the headlight, we have to replace it with something to protect it from yellowing again. That's what this is. The polishing pad for the drill and the small abrasive pads. They don't quite feel like sandpaper, but I'm sure they act the same way. So the first thing I'm gonna do is spray the headlights. I wanna make sure the headlights are wet. And I'm placing the 1000 grit pad onto this holder right here, spraying it as well. The goal of this is to keep the pad and the headlights always saturated as you're pretty much sanding. So essentially what I'm gonna do is back and forth passes from side to side, overlapping each time until the surface is smooth and looks a little hazy. Very important to keep the pad and the headlights saturated at all times. This is pretty much what they call a wet sand. As you continue to do this, you'll notice that the surface becomes smoother and smoother with each pass. That's pretty much a key sign that the restoration is working and that you're removing a lot of the oxidation. Every once in a while, you can just kind of slide your finger on the surface to see if it's still a little bit rough. It looks like I removed most of it. This part right here probably needs a little bit more right here. And then we'll move on to the 3000 grit pad. It's very important that when you're doing this, don't get impatient. Obviously, the longer you take at it and the more patient you're with it, the better the results at the end. Now that's very, very smooth. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the 3000 grit pad. The only annoying part with this is that the tape is starting to become not sticky and just kind of slipping away, which exposes the paint of the car. So you want to just kind of pay attention to that so you don't ruin the paint. So as you can see, it looks pretty hazy. That means you did it the right way. That's how it's supposed to look like before you apply the rubbing compound onto the headlight. So it looks really good. There's no more yellowness to it, and we removed as much as the oxidation as we possibly could. If you look really closely, there's like some that's etched onto the lens, but I think that's just too far gone to fix. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next step. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply just a bit of the compound here, like a nickel size. Place it on the headlight and drill. All right, let's see what she's looking like. Ooh. Now that looks freaking clear. Oh yeah, a million times better than what it used to look like, that's for sure. I still got one more step to complete, and that is to lay the protective layer over the lens, and I'm sure that's gonna give it a more new look as well. So let's go ahead and get that. So pretty much applicator pad, I put some of this protective layer on the applicator pad, and then I'll go ahead and apply it, back and forth motions, overlapping, and that's it. I will say that the wool pad makes a lot of mess, a lot of loose fibers all over the front of the car, but that's okay because after a job like this, you want to thoroughly wash your car anyways, so the rest of the car matches the brand new looking headlights. So before I lay the protective layer to the headlights, I want to make sure that I thoroughly clean the headlights and remove any of the fibers from like the wool pad, because essentially that protective layer dries up on the headlight. I don't want anything to be trapped underneath it. All right, that should be good. It is very important that if you do get it on the paint, to dry it off as soon as you can. All right, so I just got done applying the protective layer onto the headlights. It is gonna take about 15 minutes to dry and another 24 hours to fully cure. So I'll keep the car inside of the garage for the next 24 hours, but I will come back in 15 minutes to show you the final results. All right, guys, it's been 15 minutes and look at the results. My God, the headlight looks brand spanking new, other than that corner light, which I didn't polish it. But I think I'm just gonna buy another one altogether since the other side cracked. But anyways, back to the headlight. This looks very, very good. Oh yeah, look at that clear glass finish. Woo, yeah. This is the Toothpaste $1 fix right here. And this is the Maguire Severe Headlight Restoration Kit. Obviously, it's an unfair comparison because this comes with more tools and it just looks freaking brand new. This one doesn't look too bad. It looks better than what we started off with, but of course when you're trying to compare it to that glass finish, it looks like crap. But this is much better than most of the yellow headlights you see out on the road. And here's so you can see both of them side by side. Definitely this one has a huge advantage, 20 times the cost, but I believe it's at least 20 times the results as well. If you're in a really tight budget, and I get it, you can use the $1 method right here, but the results kind of speak for themselves. I don't think 20 bucks is much for a kit, and it takes literally 5 minutes to make them look brand new. This one is going to take more elbow grease and it's not going to come out as good. I don't know, you guys choose, but I get it. Some people are on a budget, pandemic stuff, then you can go for that method. But this is definitely the win. Not only is it going to make the headlight look brand new, but it also comes with that protective layer that's going to keep the headlight looking new for at least a year. I'll show you the before for the $20 method, and this is what the after $20 method looks like. So off camera, I'm going to go ahead and do the fog lights and the driver's side headlight with the Maguire's restoration kit, so everything matches and everything looks brand new. All right, so I went ahead and closed the hood so you guys can see the full effect of the headlight. Here we go. Here we go. Guys, do yourself a favor. If you have yellow oxidated headlights, get them restored. You know it makes your car look really bad. Let's put it like this. A pretty face with messed up teeth just kind of takes away from that pretty face. The same applies to owning a cool car. Let's say like this iconic E46 M3. If I have yellow oxidated headlights, then the car seems a little less important and a little less iconic. I really do hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure and hit that like button. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on that next video. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.